lemonade over a little.
All right, let's do it. That cord came in.
Oh, it's okay.
Okay.
Let's see. Maybe it's better if I sit right here.
Okay, yeah. I'll scoot over there. There we go.
All right, guys. I'm going to see if I can pull up the chat on my phone here. But if not, I'm going to, you'll see me awkwardly kind of get up and check my laptop over there. But we're going to just do kind of an impromptu live stream.
Yeah.
Just before things kind of get too crazy, I thought it'd be fun to jump on the live and talk about kind of what we saw at day one.
Yeah.
And then maybe a little bit about what we expect from day two.
Yeah. I'll just start off by saying that the staff here at Emerald Cup was very, very kind and accommodating in getting us a spot that was really incredible. We ended up eking out a corner that was far, far bigger than what our allotted space was.
Yeah.
So we really created this lounge area that was kind of a place of rest for a lot of people, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so we are, just to kind of recap where we're at right now, as the title says, we're at the Emerald Cup here in Oakland, California. It's beautiful weather. It's like in the 70s all day. The biggest thing that we're dealing with is the wind, kind of in this corridor that we're in right now. But we're at the Kaiser Convention Center, I believe it is, or Event Center. It's a really cool venue that's right next to the Lake Merritt. Lake Merritt's right here. Lake Merritt BART station's just a couple blocks away, so people can take in public transit to this event. And inside is where all the booths are, so that's where there's mostly, I would say, just different flower growers offering their stuff. There's hash, there's some grow companies. We saw New Mills.
Yeah, there was some industry, and I thought that's kind of the blueprint that Emerald Cup did very well, is they are able to blend that element of culture and that element of industry, because the reality of our situation is both of those are dependent of each other. Mm-hmm. And so it's nice to be able to give folks a space to come, sell their wares, pitch their ideas and their passions, and at the same time celebrate, get high, and have a good time.
Yeah. Yesterday there was a cool moment. So obviously 420 is kind of a big deal at the Emerald Cup, or at least you can't just have 420 pass and not mark it. So right behind us, over on our left, I guess on the viewer's right, the back this way is the Area 101 Lounge, and you got to hang out just kind of in the midst of everything. You'll have footage that we'll put up on the channel eventually.
Yes,
where they were kind of doing a 420 ceremony. Do you want to talk about that a bit?
Yeah. Lena the Hash Queen, she had a very prominent figure in the Frenchy cannoli hash movement, and she put on this beautiful ceremony for us, and we were honored enough to have electricity in our booth, so she came over with her heating unit and heated all the coals for the ceremony
at our booth right here.
Absolutely. I mean, I was so stoked about that, and so we definitely will be having her on soon to talk about Frenchy's legacy and what that whole ceremony means a lot to a lot of people.
Right.
And so there were people in lines, and the cool thing is they had little mouthpieces. So you could grab your own mouthpiece, and you didn't have to worry about,
that's cool,
sharing 1,000.
Like little plastic mouthpieces.
Yeah, just mounted right on. You had your own mouthpiece, and you were able to partake. And I got some really great footage of that will be coming up here soon, really soon. And
one of the things, I got to partake in that same sort of thing. I think it must have been in 2019, 2018. I can't remember. I think it was 2019. And that was with Frenchy Cannoli.
Yeah.
And the thing that I want to remark on about that whole thing is no one really cares who you are. And so there's like all kinds of people hanging out there between, just locals that want to come because they want to smoke some free hash,
right,
to people that are like legit in the scene.
Yeah.
And no one's really asking like who you are before you hit the thing or whatever.
Yeah, right.
Everyone's just like, let's go enjoy some hash and have fun.
And it really was. It's cool that Area 101. It ended up being kind of a place of rest. I went in there before the ceremony, and I think I counted like 8 dudes just sleeping. And I got to tell you, the gauntlet of cannabis here. I mean, I can look down on. As a matter of fact, I'm looking down at the crack in the sidewalk, and there's probably a quarter gram, half gram nugget sitting right there in the crack. So I mean, the amount of cannabis that's around is amazing. And the cool thing is when you come to the event and you have the vendors inside selling all of their incredible hash and incredible flower, you get to partake in it, and it's all everything from sun-grown to your favorite indoor guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's all being represented here. And I thought, like this morning, we got to interview the folks from the Heritage Hash Company.
Oh, very cool.
And we got to talk about that Heady OG Temple Ball.
Nice.
And they sold out of that very, very fast yesterday.
Nice.
And that was a 1-year age Temple Ball of the Heady OG.
Wow.
And he said when they were opening the cellophane or the plastic on that, was still just dripping with terpenes.
Wow.
And we talked a little bit about the chemistry, so you'll want to definitely tune in to check out that interview. It's a great interview.
That's very cool. I didn't know that you guys got to talk to them. Very
that was
cool.
10 minutes ago.
Nice. Well, those are the legends. I remember, in our Emerald Cup kind of teaser show, I was referencing them, Heritage Mendocino. They're up in Ukiah. I actually have kind of been able to kind of watch their story because I attended, there was a kind of farmer's ball back in the fall of 2018 or so, I think that was. And it was at Kyle's spot. And it was basically just a like rubble parking lot or whatever where they were hosting a dinner. And they were like, they were going to build a dispensary there. And they built a dispensary, and they also have this like hashery production center that's also behind glass. So when you go to the dispensary, you can actually see them making the hash, behind glass.
And the nice thing is they've got relationships with some of the hottest farmers out right now, like Ridgeline and Huckleberry Hill Farms. They're able to represent their products, and they had the Papaya Rose here as a live rosin, and man, they said that it was just they couldn't keep it in stock fast enough. Yeah,
it was just you probably guys saw me try to reach into my pocket. I was trying to find. I bought some pre-rolls. I think they're over there somewhere. Where I bought the Tropicana banana, I think is what it was. And those pre-rolls, it was 2 pre-rolls in a tube. You just pop open the tube, and it smells like bananas.
Terps.
Yeah,
they hit you with terps. When you pop a pre-roll, it doesn't usually hit you like.
Yeah, it was funny. I had Grambo smell it, and he's like, "That smells like something," and I was like, "It smells like Neapolitan Dippin' Dots." That's what it smells like.
There was a lot of really good that was the thing, like I said, is you didn't really need to bring a lot. There's a lot of weed going around, and if you needed to, there was plenty to buy.
Yeah, we're at an interesting point in the market right now where prices for the consumer have come down a bit just due to competition and how much weed is out there. And so, we filmed a real quick interview at the Gremlin booth with Philip over there. Philip, I think he's on the grow side. Gremlin, I talked about them on the show, I think maybe as well, but Gremlin, they are a grow that's owned by Coastal, and Coastal, I think, is I don't know if they're multi-state, but they're at least in California. They own a string of dispensaries, but they have these grows now, these indoor grows, and they're growing 200,000 plus square feet of this
canopy.
Indoor weed. And they had jars of like the top shelf nugs.
It was fire.
It was really nice.
Yeah, I was really impressed because, a lot of times when you see stuff on these at these shows on the tables, sometimes as growers, as home growers, you know, we're just like, nah, we're good.
Yeah.
But their jars were stellar, and the genetics that he had were fire. I mean, he had some really solid representations, and there was no fluff or duff in it. It was all just hard, chunky nuggets.
Yeah, we had a cool conversation with him real quick yesterday. It was fun when I walked up to the booth. I have one of their dispensaries in my town, so I actually tried some of it just very recently, and I enjoyed it. And I was asking the guy, so are you guys in Rockwell? And he just immediately goes into grows stuff.
Yeah,
so he goes into, no, we're in cocoa, and we use this for our Fulvix, and we use this for our blah. And so it was just cool to, you got sucked into a probably like 10-minute conversation.
Yeah, I know. Huh? Yeah, we got some good grow talk in some of our episodes, or some of our interactions.
Or even just kind of walking around,
Yeah.
you know, and you were talking to a guy who grows in the traditional market, but he was growing in, what were they, like 4 by 16 foot cedar beds?
He had come into this opportunity, and they had built out these beautiful cedar beds, and they were using pots inside of them.
Right.
And so he, with very minimal input and very minimal money, was able to fill those beds and create a hype or a name for himself that has kept him extremely, extremely busy, putting out very, very high quality cannabis.
And the way that they were building their soil, he was going straight in, you know, to the details. But, you know, kind of some of the highlights were, I won't go into detail where they are at, but they had a connection with a local company that must have made juices or something like that, fruit. And so they were giving them a lot of their byproduct that they're going to throw away. And then they were using that to make ferments. So they're making their own FPAJs, and then they're also doing the other one. I just totally blanked on the other one. Jadam. They were doing Jadam as well. So they're doing fermented plant extract type stuff, and they're doing Jadam with these nutrients that they're getting from just their next door neighbors.
Yeah,
basically.
as a byproduct of an industry.
Right.
And so the other cool thing is a lot of all of their cannabis byproduct waste is also gone back into those beds.
Right. Top
and
dress.
the way he described it is, it's just a giant compost bin.
Right.
They're literally composting constantly, and they have the biology already in place to break stuff down. And I was asking him, like, you know, so he said outside of a few teas, their inputs are very, very minimal. Very minimal.
Right.
And they're able to bang out very high quality cannabis.
Right. So those are the kind of conversations that we were talking about on that show that we, you know, put out pre-Emerald Cup, that you can just kind of stumble into people basically
you can.
and have some really rad conversations.
And we know that there are people who come from far away seeking opportunity. We had a Green Sun Rider on from, as a matter of fact, I'm wearing Anderson Valley Farm shirt right now.
Nice.
And he was a guy in Florida who's doing corporate shit and said, fuck it, I want to go to Northern California and live a dream. And that's exactly what that man did. He came out here, he got connected through Emerald Cup and the festivals, found this dispensary chain that he could work for, got into the grow, and now he's part owner of a farm. I mean, so those transitions and those opportunities are here for you if you're seeking.
And you work real hard.
And you work really hard.
Yeah. It's not easy, that's for sure.
No, it's not.
So today, so day one was yesterday. You know, obviously tons of people are coming to the Saturday show. A lot of people are buying weed, checking out the different booths. We're over kind of like we were talking about earlier, the Area 101 lounge area, as well as the food. So it's kind of just a popular area all day. Pretty noisy. We're kind of the calm before the storm right now.
That's why we wanted to hop on now, is because once it gets going, man, it's people, loudness, and craziness, and good times.
So today, I'm excited because we're kind of expecting some of the the OG heads to come down from the mountain, literally come down from the mountain, take the the 5-hour drive or so, and come into the show today because it's the Emerald Cup Awards. So there were some guys making some jokes online about how the Emerald Cup's in August, so is it just light dep or whatever?
Right.
And no, that's not the case. They were collecting flower samples from folks last, end of winter, end of fall, winter, through the winter into early this year. They were collecting that entire time so people could enter when their weed is ready. Because that was kind of the problem before. When the cup is in December, you're not going to have enough time to harvest and cure your weed, right?
Yeah,
Dry
it's tough. It's tough to, unless you have an early finisher that you can get down, get dried, get cured, and make it to their entry dates.
Right.
Because that's the thing, is the event might be December 8th,
right,
but their entry dates are before that.
Right.
Because all that has to be judged.
Taking place.
And we had a little interview yesterday with Nick T talking about the level of strength that comes behind the judging process,
right,
and how there's so much to it. And these guys are people who have done time in this industry, who've paid their dues and get the honor of judging these kits. And this is one of the most premier cups for the California market, if not the most premier cup for the California market.
Right, for sure. Yeah, it's nice. We've got this one now, and it's definitely kind of the king. And then we were talking about how the California State Fair now has their own awards, which are really cool.
Great. Yeah, so the Golden Bear.
Now we have kind of both of these things that I think are pretty meaningful to the community.
And to brands who are building their business. And I think the other thing that needs to be mentioned is this, and all of this is a test to show that this is possible everywhere in the United States. Usage for children goes down, crime goes down, the opportunity of crime for cannabis is very low. I mean, and I'm sure there's a lot of people who might argue the guy who just got robbed trying to do a delivery is probably going to argue that, and rightfully so. But overall, I would say that for society as a proof of concept, this is a win for any community that wants to host an event like this and invite folks from all over to come and celebrate.
Yeah, and then I guess I'll say, as the Californian on the show, I'll preemptively say to all the comments, California sucks, blah, blah, blah. It's all a work in progress. We see, even in markets like Oklahoma that looked great in the beginning, things start to change as people try to chip away at the laws. So nowhere is perfect, in my opinion. So I think it's in whatever law passed wherever you're at. Ohio's passing recreational legalization right now, is going into effect right now in my town.
Nice.
My mom was just asking me literally the other day. My mom was like, I'm going to go to the dispensary. What should I buy? So
weed, Mom, buy the weed.
Yeah. So shit's changing out there, and where I'm going with this is it's all, in progress and changing. And one of the things I'll actually mention about this show is each time we go to each iteration of the Emerald Cup, we see it's kind of a snapshot of what's allowed and what's not allowed in the market. Yeah. And I would say it's a lot more loose at this show than it's been in several years. Yeah. I saw a booth, I'll see today if they're still around, but at least yesterday I saw a booth selling some non-weed products.
Right, some fungal products.
Yeah, some fungal products, some, psychedelic-related products. That kind of blew my socks off. Yeah. We are in Oakland where it is decriminalized, so maybe that's why it was cool. But that blew my mind. That's not something that would have happened previously.
Right, because a lot of these events are very licensed and very regulated.
The shit that I had to fill out just to have this booth, and we're just a podcast, they were asking for all sorts of legal documents.
Right.
Yeah.
And and that's, at the end of the day, it seems like that's just a giant covering our ass kind of thing, because they say, oh, don't bring cannabis in, but everybody's bringing cannabis. It's everybody's having a good time. So it's not, it is loose in the sense that there is the freedoms of this community, but at the same time, as an organization and as a business that wants to be able to continue to have a relationship with Oakland, they want to do things right, and they want to do things, as they should, as they're expected to do.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I guess where I want to go with that comment real quick is I know people comment about how the cups change. One of the cool things is we did have people giving out free samples here and there. On the edible side, it was non-medicated, but those are actually, you went to the sweet edibles, right? Or that's what they're called, right?
And I got the Cheez-Its, lime chili Cheez-Its, and they were medicatedly delicious.
Yeah, those were good.
It was hard not to eat the whole bag, and I think the whole bag was like 1,000 milligrams or something. Like, it was crazy.
Yeah, so I'm going to go look at the chat real quick to see if you guys have any questions. Let me know if you guys have any questions.
And another thing I want to shout out is there's some music entertainment last night that, from what I understand, was pretty amazing.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I guess Soup, I didn't get a total confirmation, but he told me that Too Short made an appearance last night. Yeah. And, I'm dying. I should have stayed. But I was hungry. I will say that's the one thing here is I don't know about how the food truck situation. I think they had some complications with that, but that's the only one thing is they could have used about 5 more food trucks, I would say.
Yeah, they need better food options, but hopefully, they'll just do better next year. I'm sure they're taking notes.
I am sure of that, and like I said, for them to be moving in a whole different region, in a whole different city, pulling off a whole nother thing, I mean, that had to be a monumental task.
Yeah.
A very monumental task.
So we're coming up on, what time is it? It's 12:18. I think the public are allowed in about.
Trickle in.
It looks like they're lining up and letting them in.
Yeah.
So we'll probably wrap up this stream. We're going to keep an eye out for, hopefully we can maybe flag down Johnny from Huckleberry Hill Farms. He's coming through for the awards. I imagine he's probably going to get an award today.
I could only imagine.
Yeah, so he's got, I think he entered in the Paradise Pine, which I'm growing, one of those phenos.
Okay, cool, great.
Yeah. So we'll have to poke in and look at the flower. Maybe that's what we'll do right after we turn off this stream.
I did a good scan, just not even like 20 minutes ago. I tried to scan
every display cases.
Yeah, every display case of every entry of flower. It's kind of hard with a camera to get through the glass to get into where but I mean, it just gives you an idea of the magnitude of entries that were in this cup.
Quite a few. Well, we're going to wrap this up. I hope you guys enjoyed this just kind of real quick impromptu stream, give you guys a snapshot of what's going on at the Emerald Cup. We're going to try to get some more footage later today. We're going to have, quick little interviews with people that are going to come out from the show over the next couple weeks probably. Yeah. So thanks everyone for watching. Thanks JR for hanging out.
Times,
it's been fun.
buddy.
And thanks everyone for watching. And as always,
growers love.
Growers love. Peace, guys. I'll go.